Most people imagine Germany as a patchwork of cities and highways, but the real story is far stranger. It borders 9 countries, more than any EU nation. Its capital is nearly 9 times the size of Paris, and Bavaria alone is bigger than Ireland. In the video titled 30 Germany Geography Facts You Never Knew, we'll uncover how these overlooked extremes have shaped everything from wild coastlines to hidden political frontiers. What secrets hide in Europe's most unexpectedly complex landscape? Germany covers about 357,600 square kilometers, a size that puts it among Europe's largest countries, just behind Sweden and ahead of Finland. Its borders stretch across the heart of the continent, connecting with 9 different neighbors: Denmark to the north, Poland and the Czech Republic to the east, Austria and Switzerland to the south, and France, Luxembourg, Belgium, and the Netherlands to the west. No other country in the European Union touches as many. This central position is not just a quirk of history. It has shaped commerce, culture, and even the languages you hear in border towns. Zooming in, Germany's biggest state, Bavaria, takes up more than 70,500 square kilometers, almost a fifth of the country's land. That makes Bavaria nearly the same size as Ireland, and larger than many entire European nations. At the city scale, the numbers get even more surprising. Berlin, Germany's capital, sprawls across 892 square kilometers. Paris, by comparison, fits into just 105 square kilometers. That means Berlin is nearly 9 times bigger in area than the French capital, a difference that traces back to the city's dramatic expansion in the early 20th century. From broad national borders to the boundaries of a single city, the sheer scale of Germany is full of surprises, setting the stage for the country's remarkable variety of landscapes and stories. Along the northern edge of Germany, land gives way to water in a series of remarkable contrasts. The North European plain, famously flat and low-lying, meets 2 very different seas. The Wadden Sea shapes a world of tidal flats and shifting sands. Here, the Wadden Sea stretches for hundreds of kilometers, a vast intertidal landscape so unique it was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2009. Twice a day, the tide pulls back, revealing mudflats teeming with life. This is one of the planet's richest feeding grounds for migratory birds and a haven for countless marine species. Moving east, the coastline changes character. The Baltic Sea is calmer, its waters gentler, and its shores are lined with cliffs and lagoons. Germany's largest island, Rügen, rises from these waters, crowned by white chalk cliffs formed millions of years ago. These cliffs, dazzling against the blue Baltic, inspired artists like Caspar David Friedrich and remain one of the country's most iconic natural landmarks. Scattered across the coasts are islands with personalities all their own. Sylt, shaped by fierce winds and migrating dunes, is famous for its long sandy beaches and luxury resorts. The island's dunes actually move several meters each year, gradually reshaping the landscape. Farther offshore, Heligoland stands alone in the North Sea. Its red sandstone cliffs and tax-free status set it apart, a remnant of shifting borders and old customs agreements. Though tiny, Heligoland has its own customs zone and a history that once passed between Danish, British, and German hands. Germany's coasts are a patchwork of tidal flats, barrier islands, and ancient cliffs, a meeting place for land, sea, and sky, where geography is in motion. In southern Germany, the land rises in a dramatic sweep from rolling hills to jagged peaks. The Black Forest, dense and mysterious, stretches across the southwest. Its dark firs and pines have inspired legends for centuries, and beneath the canopy, springs bubble up from the earth. One spring, hidden among mossy stones near the town of Donaueschingen, is the source of the Danube, Europe's second longest river. Here, water begins a journey that will cross 10 countries before reaching the Black Sea. To the east, the Swabian Jura forms a limestone plateau scarred with deep valleys and caves. The Swabian Jura is famous for karst topography, underground rivers, sinkholes, and caverns carved by water over millions of years. Some of Germany's oldest human artifacts have been found in these caves, including ivory figurines dating back more than 35,000 years. Moving south, the land climbs higher still. The Bavarian Alps rise along the Austrian border, their snowy ridges visible for miles. At 2,962 meters, Zugspitze stands as Germany's highest point, a mountain so tall that on a clear day you can see across 4 countries from its summit. Alpine villages dot the valleys below, shaped by centuries of mountain life, with traditions rooted in both German and Austrian culture. Between the rugged uplands and the alpine peaks, these landscapes create a vertical tapestry: forests, plateaus, and mountains stacked in layers. Each zone has its own climate, wildlife, and way of life, making southern Germany a showcase of natural diversity and a crossroads of European history. Water shapes Germany's landscape and daily life in ways both grand and unpredictable. Water. The Rhine, the country's most important river, moves nearly 160 to 180 million tons of cargo every year, more than any other inland waterway in Europe. Barges loaded with coal, chemicals, and containers pass through the UNESCO-listed Rhine Gorge, where medieval castles once guarded the flow of goods and travelers. Elbe. The Elbe, winding from the Czech border through Dresden and Hamburg, connects distant regions and powers trade, but it also brings the risk of floods to cities along its banks. Lake Constance. Lakes are just as central to Germany's geography. Lake Constance, shared with Austria and Switzerland, is so large that its borders remain unsettled. There is no official line dividing German, Swiss, and Austrian waters. This vast lake not only provides drinking water for millions, but also creates a rare international meeting point, where ferries from the 3 countries cross paths every day. North Sea. Not all of Germany's water stories are tranquil. In the far north, the land dips to its lowest point at Neuendorf-Sachsenbande. That low point is 3.54 meters below sea level. Here, dikes and pumps are all that keep the North Sea from reclaiming the land. The importance of these defenses became tragically clear in February 1962, when a powerful storm surge overwhelmed dikes along the Elbe. Floodwaters swept into Hamburg, killing 340 people and leaving thousands homeless. The disaster forced a complete overhaul of flood protection. Dikes were raised by up to 2 meters, new barriers were built, and flood management became a national priority. Today, Germany's coastal defenses are among the most advanced in the world, shaped by both necessity and hard-won experience. Across the country, rivers and lakes serve not just as economic lifelines, but as reminders of the delicate balance between land and water. Roughly 1 out of every 3 square kilometers in Germany is covered by forest. The country is densely wooded, with a green canopy stretching from the lowlands to the mountain slopes. The government has designated 16 national parks to protect these landscapes, each one a living archive of rare plants and animals. In Bavaria, Berchtesgaden National Park preserves dramatic alpine peaks and deep valleys. Golden eagles soar above ancient forests. The Bavarian Forest National Park, founded in 1970, is Germany's oldest. It was created to allow nature to reclaim itself without interference. Fallen trees are left to rot, and lynx and wolves have quietly returned. Across the country, these parks do not just shelter wildlife. They offer a glimpse of what Central Europe once looked like, and stand as a promise to future generations that these wild places will endure. Germany's landscape is dotted with more than 2,100 castles, depending on who's counting. Some registers include only medieval fortresses, while others add palaces, manor houses, and even ruins. Nowhere is this legacy more concentrated than along the upper middle Rhine, where castle towers crowd the riverbanks, sometimes less than 1 kilometer apart. But not every border follows the rules. Bussingen am Hochrhein, for example, is a German exclave entirely surrounded by Switzerland. Residents pay in Swiss francs, use Swiss emergency services, and even have a choice of postal codes, all thanks to a customs treaty from 1967. Far from the borders, the Nordlinger Ries crater stands out. A 24-kilometer wide scar left by a meteorite 14.8 million years ago. Today, the town of Nordlingen sits inside its rim, its church built from rock blasted into being by that ancient impact. And then there is Neuschwanstein, the fairy tale castle perched above the Bavarian Alps, dreamed up by King Ludwig II. More stage set than stronghold, it draws visitors from around the world, proof that in Germany, geography and imagination often go hand in hand. Germany covers 357,600 square kilometers and borders 9 countries, more than any other nation in the European Union. Throughout this documentary, we have uncovered landscapes that span tidal flats, alpine peaks, and more than 2,100 castles, with forests covering 1/3 of the land. From the 2,962-meter summit of the Zugspitze to the minus 3.54-meter low at Neuendorf-Sachsenbande, Germany's extremes are matched by the complexity of its rivers and border quirks like Busingen. Yet some questions remain. For example, the true count of castles varies by source, and the full ecological impact of centuries of land management is still under study. Today, Germany's landscapes continue to shape its economy, culture, and cross-border connections. From the Rhine's vital trade to UNESCO conservation sites, the evidence reveals a country defined as much by its diversity as by its boundaries, facts that remain central to understanding Germany's place in Europe and the world.